Prepare to get gas because it's time for the Week in Gear. It is a rather strange week for gear, so close to the end of the year, and time is running out to get gifts. But if you are looking for a present for someone, maybe even yourself, stay tuned to see what the guitar world has left in its sack.
Who wrote this?
Oh yeah, me. This week is sponsored by PEDALTRAIN and their pedal board planner. More about that in a bit. Let's kick off this week's most exciting guitar gear releases with a new looper from Zoom. Now, Zoom seem to be consistently releasing guitar pedals that stay a little bit under the radar, and they're back again this week with the latest trick up their sleeve, the MS90 LP Plus Multi-Stomp Looper. At first glance, this pedal looks rather unassuming and also quite retro and Lego-y, but it is packing some serious heat under the hood. We are talking 90 minutes of stereo looping per loop with over 13 hours of storage spread across 100 loop slots. If you're the kind of player who gets lost in layer after layer of sonic madness, this pedal might just be your new best friend. Now, let's talk about sound quality. Zoom has cranked it up a notch, sorry for that, with dual AD converters and 32-bit float processing, meaning that there's lots of headroom so your loops sound crystal clear no matter how many times you overdub and overdub and overdub. None of that mushy, degraded tone nonsense here, not on Zoom's watch. There's also a quantize function so that your loops always stay in time, plus there are 68 rhythm patterns built right in, with everything you can imagine, as long as you can imagine things like rock and funk and EDM. Wondrous. I know what you're thinking.
Andy, what about connectivity?
Relax and stop shouting. They've thought of almost everything. Stereo in, stereo out, MIDI in and out for syncing it with other gear, including your drummer's metronome, and a USB-C port, woohoo, for importing and exporting loops or backing tracks. And as for power options, it's a triple threat. AC adapter, USB, or 2 AA batteries. And on those AA batteries, you get up to 4 hours of runtime. Plenty of time for a gig or half of a lengthy jam session? Jazz fusion, maybe? The release is the first quarter of 2025, but pre-orders are available now using links below this video, and it will cost you around 200 notes, just under, depending on where you live. I have to get one of these. I love loopers, and I hope that using a MIDI control, I can turn some of the effects on and off, because there's built-in effects as well. And I can do that with MIDI, hopefully, without needing to get down on the floor. Like this! Alright, here's something more for you pedal nerds out there. The D'Addario Xpand Pedal Power Battery Kit. This little box of magic ensures that your pedal board stays powered whether you're at a live gig or jamming in the local secluded car park late at night with your lights flashing or whatever it is those people do there. Or if you just holed up in your bedroom tweaking your tone. With a 10,000 milliamp rechargeable battery, this thing delivers over 10 hours of power for a standard sized pedal board. Whatever that is. You can forget stress of finding outlets or powering it up with cables or unplugging someone else's gear in a panic, taking the bass player's amp or in-ears out when you need to. But sorry, bass players, but well, you know. The Gateway Hub is a very clever little box that uses USB power delivery and some sort of proprietary noise filtering to give your 9-volt pedals clean, reliable power without any weird hums or buzzes creeping into your signal, apparently. The real head turner, however, is the adjustable daisy chain that adapts to your board's setup. So you can keep everything tidy with no excess cable flopping about the place. So if I get this right, this is one continuous cable that goes from the power supply to each of your pedals like a regular daisy chain, but it connects to each pedal using the included adapters. And then if I have this right, you can reuse it if you want to swap your boards around I think that's right. It wasn't really clear in all the marketing stuff that I read, and that's my biggest question about this power supply. It does look very cool though. The second biggest question could be, what if you want to combine digital and analog pedals on a daisy chain, which traditionally would result in a whole lot of noise and hiss and naughtiness in your sound? Well, D'Addario also sell the optional noise isolator, which they say will fix that problem. I definitely want to test that. There are 9 included adapters, meaning powering up to 9 pedals simultaneously, which should cover most people's needs, unless you're rocking one of those giant control centers of a pedal board. For some, this is the solution to a problem they've been waiting for ages. For others, this won't even enter into their minds to buy it. I don't think there's going to be anyone in the middle accidentally buying this. You're either going to really want it and really get it, or think, nah. I'd love to try one. I'd love to see if it works as well as D'Addario says it will, and at between 150 and 200 notes, I don't think this is more expensive than a regular solution to powering pedals. Not a budget solution, but a regular solution. Now, I promise you this was unplanned, but it does lead us nicely into this week's sponsor, Segway. PEDALTRAIN. If you're planning on buying a new pedal and want to know if it's going to fit on your existing pedal board, there's a website you need to take a look at. This is pedalboardplanner.com from PEDALTRAIN, and here you can select one of the many pedal boards, let's say a Classic 3. Now, you can add some pedals to it to see if they fit. You can even connect boards together. Aha! You can change the background to something more Nirvana. Festival season. It's free, it's easy to use, and there are lots of pedals available. Check out pedalboardplanner.com to make life easier and quite fun as well. You'll find links to that underneath this video. On with the show! If you enjoy this week's show, why not memorize it word for word and recite it at family gatherings? Alternatively, share the link with your gearhead friends on social media? Thank you! All right, fuzz fanatics. Brace yourselves, strap in. The Beetronics Whoctahell. I think a Whoctahell? Whoctah, Dr. Who. The Beetronics Whoctahell low-octave BEEAST is here to shake things up. This isn't just another fuzz pedal. This is a snarling, glitchy beast that brings a whole new dimension to your sound. If you like real fuzzy nastiness. Actually, I don't know what your sound is, so it might not bring a new dimension. It could. Could ruin it. Could double the potential of it. The Whoctahell is a limited edition recreation of the first ever Beetronics pedal, and it's limited to 300 units. And I have one here, and oh boy is it powerful. The Whoctahell combines this gnarly fuzz with not one, but 2 independent low-octave voices. Each octave has its own volume control, so you can dial in everything you want, as long as that's starting somewhere like a subtle kind of growl, or all the way on the other side of the spectrum, like a full-on 8-bit bass synth assault. Blah. The fuzz section itself is no slouch either. It's got like this sort of raw, aggressive tone that blends well with the octaves, and as a pedal, it works well rather than, well, it does work well. However, the result is glitchiness, wild and delightfully unpredictable textures that will make you wonder, is my pedal possibly broken? It isn't, don't worry. It's supposed to sound like that. Plus, it is quite small, and the price tag is around $150 in the US, but sadly with import and stuff, it's more expensive over here in Europe. However, if you love solo fuzz sessions that shake the very foundation of your being, this. Yes. Very pedal heavy this week. Woohoo! Now, once in a while, a pedal comes along that changes how I feel about pedals that I've played before it. And my life is never the same from that point onwards. And the HEATSEEKER by Crazy Tube Circuits is one of those pedals. And I've got it here. To describe this with zero emotion, it is a 3 Marshall amps in a box with a foot switchable boost and enhanced thing based on the radio wireless system and amplifiers of AC/DC. Now, to To talk about it in terms that I feel far more comfortable with, this red and black box is one of the best Marshall sounds I've ever had in my life, which includes playing through actual Marshall amps. I'm looking at you, AVT2000. I've reviewed it this week, and you can watch this review by clicking that card up there, and this pedal is actually up for consideration as my pedal of the year. It's that good. But more about pedal of the year and all that stuff in a little bit. The HEATSEEKER is all analog, it's got JFET circuitry, and it sounds phenomenal if I haven't pointed that out yet so far. It is running at 27 volts, courtesy of an internal voltage boost, and it just delivers. There's dynamic response, it's touch sensitive, and it's got all that goodness that you'd expect from a cranked double stack. Except it's small and in a red and black box. And I think it shouldn't matter, but it does. It looks really good as well. You've got a 3-band EQ plus a presence knob. There's a toggle switch for going between the JTM 45 sound, the super lead sound, and the master volume 2203. Plus there's a switch called Wall of Sound, which makes the entire pedal louder, bigger, and far more British. The enhanced section, well, that's even more drive and tone shaping. And I think I know I prefer that this pedal has the tone enhancing bit, but I think it would be fantastic even without it. Think of it as an added bonus. And as with all Crazy Tube Circuit amps, double amp pedals they've done this year and before, there's an effects loop in between the enhanced boosty section and the amp. So you could boost a fuzz. I gotta try that. I'm gonna try that after this. So, if you are chasing 60s, 70s, or 80s Marshall inner box sounds, you owe it to yourself to check out the HEATSEEKER. Pedals this good do not come cheap, of course, and this is going to set you back the best part of 280 notes, depending on where you live. But I'll say it again. If Marshall tones are your thing, this pedal needs to be your thing. And the only reason it isn't my pick of the week is because my pick of the week is just simply mind-blowing value for money. But the HEATSEEKER comes a very close second. I almost made it a double pick of the week for the first time ever. I didn't. Andy's pick of the week. My pick of the week this week is the TC Electronic Plethora X1, and it is here to cause some trouble. I want you to go with me on this. I want you to close your eyes. Are they closed? Good. Now, imagine squeezing 14 of TC's best TonePrint effects into one tiny standard pedal-sized box. Are you there? Can you see it? Can you feel it? Now, slowly open your eyes and live in a world where that is true. Feels good, doesn't it? TC Electronic have shrunk their X series down to the X1, giving you this dedicated TonePrint loader that covers the entire range of TonePrint pedals. I think it's the entire range. A huge range. This means that the Plethora X1 can be a compressor one moment and an octave pedal the next, or it can be a noise gate for one song and a flanger for the next. The current effects available are Hall of Fame 2 reverb, Flashback 2 delay, Helix phaser, viscous vibe, sub and up octaver, brainwaves pitch shifter, corona chorus, hypergravity compressor, mimic doubler, vortex flanger, pipeline tap tremolo, Sentry noise gate, quintessence harmony, and the vibrato. Victor, feel free to put all those graphics on screen if you want. Don't have to. TC have packed so much into this pedal, it is jaw-dropping. And then there's the foot switch that can do 5 different things. It can do latching mode, so on and off. It can do momentary mode, so the effect is on when you put your foot on it. It can do A-B mode to switch between 2 different effects. It can also do tap tempo mode for controlling delay times or modulation rates. And then there's the mash function, which does There's the mash function, which is a pressure-sensitive expression control. What a time to be alive. It has a 1-inch LCD screen to keep you abreast of what your knobs are doing and what you're controlling so you're not fumbling mid-gig, and you can build custom boards with multiple instances of the same effect. So if you want a board of all delays, fill your boots. The price? It's only about 180 notes, which is more than fair for all the stuff you're getting here. If you need one effect for one song, just very rarely, or you just want to have a flexible small pedal board, this is a no-brainer because the TC effects are really good. The Hall of Fame reverb, too. Great pedal. The noise gate's great. It's all pretty darn good. Anyway, oh! Can you hear that? Are those sleigh bells? No. It's the TC Electronic Plethora X1 calling your name. Go! Answer! Answer it now! Follow the link in the video description. Get yourself a present. It's actually not available yet, but you never know. They could run out. It's worth it. Or if you've got more space, get the X3. That's what I've got, and it's flipping fantastic. Anyway, now, thank you to the wonderful people that support the show on Patreon. Their names are up on the screen now. Hello, everybody! Also, these people support the show right here on YouTube. Look at all those names. Hello to you all. How you doing? Thank you so much. If you would like your name up in lights, then click the join button right here on YouTube or visit my Patreon link underneath the video in the video description. And here's a special thanks to the top tier members. Alinta Boston, April Hughes, Buddha Blue, Boom Shakalaka, Buzzle, Dirk, Doug Paget, Hugh G. Rection, Yindrik Strelka, Johnny McBadminton, Michael 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗪𝗛𝗪, Inhale. Inhale. This prank is officially sponsored by Jason Welch, Andrew Morgan, Gary O'Neill, Josh Tamberg, Peter Hall, PQ Deads, Sarang Narayan, and Robin Kelly, and Southern Panda 33. Thank you so much, top tier members. And thank you, Michael, for making the Inhale possible. Clever move. Now, time for comment of the week, or geek of the week, if you like. It was left on my HEATSEEKER review video. And bearing in mind that that's an AC/DC style pedal, 𝗬𝗢𝗪𝗏𝗡𝗍𝗏851, the best of all the 𝗬𝗢𝗪𝗏𝗡𝗏s, wrote, "Too tall to play AC/DC, winky face, rock hand, merci." Made me laugh because I am too tall to do many things, like fit in a small box, for example. But I don't think I'm too tall to play AC/DC. I think I'm more than okay to play AC/DC. Granted, the schoolboy costume does take a while to arrive because it is custom ordered from that. Well, let's not talk about where I get that from. But I don't think you're too tall to play anything. Could be too small to play something if you couldn't hold the instrument or something. But too tall. Anyway, I'll think about that in my own time. I won't waste yours with it. Gear of the Year, or I call it, the Year in Gear, is coming on the 27th of December this year. If there's any gear that you think I should be including in that video that was released in 2024, then please leave a comment under this video and let me know and make your case for why you think that should be on the list. Look forward to that. That's in 2 weeks if you're watching this on day of release. Anyway, yeah, I hope you're having a good time, good day. I wish you a good rest of the day. And remember that this gear is great, but you don't need any of it to make good music. But it couldn't hurt. And if this video sparks some joy, you know, do the thing. See you in the next one. Bye! I'm off now.